Rightio, so something really kind of different today. Just a really tiny little short video. I use homemade applesauce in a lot of my sort of lunch dishes, as a compote kind of thing. And I've been asked, "Oh, how do you make applesauce?" I mean, it's for me, it's a no-brainer because I have been doing that all my life. So what we normally use to do is when we harvest the apples, we keep the good ones for winter, or for eating, and the ones with a little blemish or so, we cut the blemish out and just pop them in a pot and make applesauce. And we always had my parents' house and my grandmother's, we had a nice cool cellar, and we would bottle applesauce. Now, I haven't got a nice cool cellar anymore. I used to bottle applesauce in our old place, but here I haven't got the space or indeed at the moment the glassware. But I'm going to make this batch today, and some of it I just put into a little click-clack container, and we're going to eat that over the next sort of week or two, and it lasts quite a while in the fridge once it's cooked. So these are not sort of second grade apples, they're just store-bought apples. In autumn, when apples are ripe, I grab them from relatives and aunties and so on, and use those. So all I've done is I quartered them and I left everything on, like the core, the skin, you name it, everything's on. I just put a little bit, about an inch, 2.5, 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of the pot, and now I bring it to the boil, and that will kind of soften all these up, and then I'll meet you at the next stage with a nice little cool kitchen gadget that you can get in New Zealand. You don't have to use it, but it just makes it so much easier. But I love applesauce, and especially if you have kids, to get fiber into their or your diet, leave the skin on. There's not much vitamins left after this has been boiled, or I don't know anything about that actually. But the skin, has a lot of good stuff in it, and it's a good source of fibers. So there you go. Put that up on the boil now. Rightio. So there we go. So these are my apples. Hardly any liquid left, so they're soft, so you can you always test them, they're all good. And now we're coming to the lovely, and I really mean lovely, little kitchen gadget. There you go. Doesn't look like much, does it? Now I think I don't even know what the English word for this is. Someone will probably point it out to me. I know there is an English word for this. I think it's a sort of a simple food processor thing. And in German, I love the German word. I really do. The German word is Flotte. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And it comes, I used to have a really old one, and it was lost in a house fire that I inherited from a great aunt. And, that was, I don't know, 60, 70 years old. And same principle. It was a bit larger though, and so it comes in kind of 3 kind of different settings that you can use. For applesauce, I tend to use the medium one. I think you can also use it like almost like a potato ricer kind of thing. So all you need to do is pop that in, and then pop this as well. And then fix it into this little side thing, so there's a bit of tension there. And then essentially what it is it's like a little fruit press, so to speak. And I just use a large bowl or pot to put underneath. Grab my apple. There you go. While they're still hot, always works best while they're still hot. Everything in, pips, skin, you name it, pop it in. Don't overfill it. Kids love doing this. I remember doing this as a child, and I love that. And then all you need to do is just pop it through like so. And you can, depending what type of apples you've got, these were the ones that I bought were Braeburns, so they've and plus I put a little bit of water in with them for the boiling, so this is quite runny. If you don't want it as runny, obviously drain the water first, and then you can kind of drain this as well. But can you see this? There you go. So there is your rather red looking applesauce. The red colour obviously comes from the skin of the apple. So depending on what type of apple you're using, it kind of, like with any of these sort of fruits, once it's been processed, it will sort of go a bit greyish kind of thing. You can avoid that, or up to a certain extent. If you put some lemon juice in it, it will make it a little bit sour, but you don't need a lot, to kind of keep the colour if that's what you like. Other than that, I don't put anything else in there. So no preservatives, no sugar, definitely no sugar. There's enough sugar in the apples as it is. So it's a pretty kind of healthy, thing. Oh, I can eat it just like that when it's cold. I don't tend to eat it warm. But we put it on a lot of sort of easy German lunch dishes or Saxon lunch dishes, and I have made and I will make some more videos of those. There's the classic ones are pancakes or plinsen in Saxon. Then there's quite a few others. Quarkkeulchen, that's a mouthful, isn't it? There's one of those. So applesauce is kind of, I know here in New Zealand or English speaking countries, applesauce tends to be used for pork roast or pork rolls or anything to do with pork, really, pork belly, you name it. I don't go, I don't, for me, pork, there you go, goes with sauerkraut, maybe other veg, but definitely not apple. But when I make this sauce, my husband tends to make some for when he has pork for lunch. He loves it. Right. So that's it. Quick video on how to make homemade applesauce. My style, or rather my grandmother's style. It's after all Oma Irmgard's Saxon kitchen.